We're here to say goodbye to our brothers and sisters, to our fathers and mothers, to our friends.
Here's why Jon Snow's past betrayals will haunt him in the spin-off, Snow. What if the ghosts of the past refused to die? What if every betrayal, every choice, every oath broken in the name of honor came back to drag a man into the abyss? That is exactly what the Jon Snow spin-off, titled
Can never
Snow,
be
could
repaid.
become. A story not
is
about
our-
glory, not about crowns, but about the price of betrayal, and how no matter how far you ride into the cold, your sins follow
To
you
keep them
like
alive
shadows.
in memory.
Today, we are diving into the real heart of Jon Snow's journey after Game of Thrones. And more importantly, why his past betrayals, whether they were
Everyone
out of
in
love,
this
out
world
of duty, or out of
owes
desperation,
them a debt
will
that
haunt
can
him in
never-
Snow. If you thought exile beyond the wall was freedom, think again. This is where the ghosts start whispering. This is where Jon's punishment truly begins. Let's unravel the betrayals, the wounds, and the unhealed scars that are destined to follow Jon Snow in the spin-off. Jon Snow, born Aegon Targaryen, the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna, lived his entire life under the weight of lies. He was called a bastard. He was raised in the shadow of Ned Stark, never knowing his true place in the world. And yet, despite being the outcast, Jon built his life around loyalty and duty. He swore oaths, he led men, he sacrificed himself. But what defines Jon Snow more than anything is betrayal. Because Jon is not just the man who was betrayed, he is also the man who betrayed others. And in the land of Westeros, betrayal never sleeps. It festers. It returns. The spin-off Snow has one crucial opportunity, to show us the aftermath. Jon may have been sent into exile as punishment for killing Daenerys Targaryen, but exile isn't a clean slate. It's a prison without walls. And Jon's past is going to haunt him like the icy winds of the north. Think back to Jon's greatest betrayals. The first that echoes loudly is his betrayal of Ygritte and the Free Folk. Jon loved her, truly, but in the end, he chose duty over love. He infiltrated the Wildlings, slept beside Ygritte, swore himself to her, and yet when the moment came, he turned his sword against her people. For Ygritte, Jon's betrayal wasn't just a tactical move. It was personal. She told him, "You know nothing, Jon Snow." Those words weren't about ignorance. They were about betrayal. Now imagine Jon returning beyond the wall. Imagine him leading the Free Folk again. Do you think they will forget? Some might forgive, but others will remember that Jon once betrayed them for his brothers in black. That stain doesn't wash out. It festers in the memory of their dead. In Snow, Jon could be forced to reckon with the idea that he can never truly be one of them. Not after what he did. Then there's the betrayal of the Night's Watch itself. The brothers he swore to serve, the men he called his family. When Jon bent the knee to Stannis, when he made deals with the Wildlings, when he acted as a king instead of a servant, many of his brothers saw it as betrayal. That betrayal cost Jon his life. They stabbed him to death with the words, "For the Watch." How can Jon ever return to the wall, or even walk near it, without hearing the echo of those knives? In Snow, the guilt of that death will linger. Every time Jon looks into the fire, he might see Ollie's face. Every time he feels the chill, he'll remember those daggers. Jon's betrayal of the Watch wasn't just political. It was spiritual. He broke faith with the very vow that defined his life. And in Snow, those broken oaths will haunt him. But the betrayal that overshadows all of them, the betrayal that will never leave Jon Snow, is Daenerys Targaryen. Jon loved her. He swore to her. He promised her loyalty. And yet, in the throne room, with the ashes of King's Landing still falling, Jon betrayed her with a knife through the heart. That choice is the most haunting betrayal of all. Because unlike Ygritte, unlike the Watch, Daenerys wasn't just a political ally or a fleeting romance. She was his blood. She was his queen. She was the one person he could have shared his Targaryen truth with. And he killed her. Out of fear, out of duty, out of mercy, perhaps, but betrayal nonetheless. Now picture Jon Snow alone in the north. The snowstorm howling, the campfire dying. He closes his eyes, and in the silence, he hears Daenerys whisper, "You are my queen." He sees her hand reaching for him, blood pouring from her chest. That isn't freedom. That is torment. And in Snow, the weight of Daenerys, death will be a ghost that never leaves him. But here's the twist. Jon Snow's betrayals don't just haunt him. They define him. They shape his story. And the spin-off Snow has the chance to turn those betrayals into the very backbone of the narrative. Because betrayal breeds consequences. And Westeros always collects its debts. For example, Jon's betrayal of Daenerys could ripple across the realm. What if her loyalists, the remnants of her army, the Unsullied, or even surviving Targaryen supporters, seek vengeance? To them, Jon isn't a hero. He's a traitor who murdered their queen. Imagine Grey Worm, years later, crossing the seas to hunt Jon down. Imagine whispers spreading among the free folk that Jon Snow killed the mother of dragons. His exile wouldn't be peace. It would be a death sentence waiting to be delivered. And let's not forget Bran the Broken, now king of Westeros. Did he truly forgive Jon? Or did he simply move the chess piece into exile, knowing that the game isn't over? What if Bran, cold and calculating, still holds Jon accountable? What if Bran is watching Jon even beyond the wall, ensuring that the price of betrayal never ends? But it's not just political betrayal. Jon's personal betrayals are the wounds that hurt most deeply. Think of Ghost, his loyal direwolf. How many times did Jon push Ghost aside, leaving him behind at Castle Black, refusing to show him the love he deserved? That, too, is betrayal. And in Snow, Ghost is there with him, staring at him with those red eyes. Loyal, but perhaps resentful. Silent, but perhaps accusing. Sometimes the smallest betrayals hurt the most. And then there's Arya, Sansa, and Bran. His family. Jon betrayed them too, though not in ways as obvious. When he bent the knee to Daenerys, when he tried to convince them to follow her, he placed loyalty to a queen above loyalty to his sisters. Sansa never forgave him for that. Arya didn't trust him fully after. And Bran simply saw it all, silently. Even with the North secure, those scars remain. In Snow, Jon could be haunted by the realization that he betrayed even the ones he sought to protect. So why will Jon Snow's betrayals haunt him in the spin-off? Because betrayal is the one thing Jon can't outrun. The wall couldn't protect him. Death couldn't free him. Exile won't save him. Wherever he goes, the ghosts of Ygritte, the whispers of Daenerys, the knives of the Watch, and the disappointment of his family will follow. And here's the ultimate tragedy. Jon Snow betrayed others because he believed it was the right thing to do. He betrayed out of love, out of mercy, out of loyalty. But betrayal doesn't care about intention. It only leaves scars. And in Snow, Jon will have to live with those scars until the end. But maybe that's the beauty of Jon Snow's story. Maybe Snow isn't about redemption or glory. Maybe it's about the truth, that honor has a price, and betrayal has a cost. And Jon Snow, the man who tried so hard to be honorable, is the man cursed to carry that cost. Forever. The spin-off Snow could change everything because it isn't about dragons or thrones. It's about consequences. It's about the truth that no one, not even Jon Snow, can escape the weight of betrayal. So when we finally see him in the frozen wastelands beyond the wall, don't look for freedom. Look for ghosts. Because Jon Snow's story isn't one of escape.